class. So in this session, we'll be discussing about a very important concept in financial statement analysis. So the various types as well as the tools or techniques of financial statement analysis. Uh, in this session, actually in a nutshell, we will discuss all the techniques, because in the coming session or in the coming chapters or modules, we have to focus on the respective tools or techniques of the financial statement analysis in detail. So once again, welcome to session number 4. So first we will focus on types of financial statement analysis on the basis of various categories here. So in the previous session, we focused on the concept of financial statement analysis and interpretation part, its objectives or the purpose we discussed, as well as the procedures of preparing the financial statement analysis also discussed. So ultimately we know that financial statement analysis or financial analysis refers to the process of determining the financial strength and weakness of the firm by establishing a strategic relationship between the various components of balance sheet or profit and loss account and other operative data. So dear students, here we made two categories of financial statement analysis. First one is on the basis of the materials used. So here we have two categories: internal analysis and external analysis. Next, on the basis of the modus operandi, that is the operation, here we made horizontal analysis and vertical analysis. So in brief, we will have a discussion. Now, internal analysis, the name itself will give that concept. Analysis is made by the internal people, means they made by the top executives with the help of the accountants here. So basically, I think here the finance and the accounting department of the business organization have a direct approach to all the relative financial records. So it's like internally the people are going for analysis here. So such analysis will help on the overall performance of the business concern, as well as they can assess their profitability of various activities and operations. It's like we can say that internal checking also. So internally the analysis is done and it is made by the internal people, maybe the accountant or the internal auditors. Second case, external analysis will happen. So the analysis is made by the external users, maybe the investors or the banks or the financial institutions or maybe the creditors or government department or the consultant, or maybe we can say that the economists or researchers. So they are going for analyzing your financial statement. So they are fully depend upon the published financial statement. So whatever the financial statement you will publish at the end of your financial year, or maybe in the time of annual general body meeting. So usually based on that secondary data, the external analysis will happen. So ನಾವು ನೋಡುವಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಗೆ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. So the source is their website or maybe the company's records. So after going through the company's records, we will go for financial statement analysis part. So the objective of analysis is maybe you are varying from one party to another party. ಈಗ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಟು ನೋ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ and tax related issues they will look. But for the researchers, the purpose may be different. So the researcher is focusing the analysis part from his point of view on the basis of his problem or maybe the objectives he noted in the research. Next, we are having a short-term analysis here on the maybe basis of the time period we can focus. ಇಲ್ಲಿ short-term analysis of financial statement primarily actually focusing on the working capital analysis. So to what extent they are facing the liquidity problems. So short-term financial solvency position or short-term liquidity position is focused here. So this analysis is helpful to predict their long-term, what is that, the solvency and liquidity position. So short-term analysis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಮೇ ಬಿ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು. So to what extent they are paying their dues as well as they are having sufficient amount of the current asset, so that the working capital position of the company here analyzed. Next one is the long-term analysis. So there must be minimum, we can say that return on investment. So focusing on the long-term growth and development of company. So here financial planning is also necessary for a continued success of the company. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, the leverage analysis, the ownership pattern of securities. So all these parameters are coming in the long-term analysis of financial statement. Next, the fifth one, this category is coming under modus operandi, horizontal analysis, and it's also called as a dynamic analysis. Kindly make a note on this. So when financial statement of number of years actually analyzed, maybe the viewed and analyzed, so this analysis is called as horizontal analysis. So here the preparation of a comparative statement is an best example of this type of analysis. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ವರ್ಷದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯು ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪನಿಯ 1 ವರ್ಷದ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಷದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ the ratios are calculated from the balance sheet for 1 year as well as from the profit and loss account also. So vertical analysis actually the one best example for vertical analysis. So it is also used for a short term analysis. So types only internal analysis and external analysis on the basis of the materials used. Next, time frame only short term but a long term, and last one on the basis of the operations, that is the modus operandi, horizontal and vertical. Horizontal is called as dynamic analysis, vertical analysis called as static analysis. Now the next area we will discuss in this particular session various tools or techniques of financial statement analysis. So this is very important component of this particular session. Various techniques are used in analyzing the financial statement. Actually, our course is focused on these areas. So in the coming modules or in the coming chapter, in detail, all the areas are covered actually. So just we have a look on this particular analysis in a nutshell. So these are the very important tools or techniques of financial statement analysis. First one is comparative statement analysis. Here we have comparative financial as well as comparative operating statement. Second one is common size statement. Third one is trend analysis, also called as trend ratio analysis. Next one, statement of changes in working capital. Next one is fund flow analysis or fund flow statement, cash flow statement, ratio analysis, very important tool here. Last one is the cost volume profit analysis, CVP ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು break even analysis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. Now in the brief, all the techniques we will cover one by one. Now the first one is comparative statement analysis. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೆಸರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದ ಟೂ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇಯರ್ and we will compare the financial position or financial performance. So increase or decrease in terms of absolute figures and in terms of percentage we will get here, and we can compare the financial position. So here two types of comparative statement can be prepared. One is comparative balance sheet can be prepared and comparative profit and loss account can be prepared. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದೇ ಕಂಪನಿಯ 2 ವರ್ಷದ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರಾ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ಕಂಪನಿಯ 1 ವರ್ಷದ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ will look like this. This is comparative balance sheet. So you will be given one previous year and current year. First you have to arrange the data. ಇಲ್ಲಿ liability side ಅಲ್ಲಿ shareholders fund, non current liability, current liability ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯುವಂತದ್ದು. Asset ಅಲ್ಲಿ non current asset ಮತ್ತೆ current asset ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರೆಯುವಂತದ್ದು. So here you want to write the previous year and current year in the second and third column. Fourth column ಅಲ್ಲಿ absolute change, increase or decrease ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯುವಂತದ್ದು. And the last column you need to find out the percentage change. So you will come to know how much share capital is increased or current liabilities increased or the working capital or current asset is increased or decreased. Next, second one is common size statement. It is a vertical presentation of financial information. Here actually the total assets or liabilities actually considered as 100 in the case of balance sheet, as well as in the case of profit and loss account, sales will be considered as 100, and all the remaining items are compared with the total assets and total liabilities or sales in terms of percentage. So here we come to know the proportion of the component of balance sheet to total asset. So it is called as common size financial statement analysis. So here only 1 year will be focused. So for example, in the common size balance sheet, what will happen? 2006 if you focus, the total asset will be considered as 100, and all the item in the asset side you need to calculate percentage against the total. So ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1% ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಓನ್ಲಿ 1%. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು 56% ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನೇಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಈಚ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್. Same manner you can prepare common size profit and loss account also, where you need to consider sales will be the base amount. Next, third technique is trend analysis. So now in the comparative statement there is one limitation. We can compare only 2-year financial statement. ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು 10 ವರ್ಷದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಒಂದು 5-6 ವರ್ಷದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ trend analysis. So in trend analysis what will happen? You can analyze a financial statement over a period of time and you can see the business concern trend, whether it is upward or downward, and this analysis is also called as a pyramid method of analysis. So in a trend analysis what will happen? 1 year, maybe usually the first year will be considered as the base year, and the remaining year trend percentage will be calculated and you will get upward or downward trend. So if the percentage is plus 100, it shows upward trend. If the percentage is below 100, then it is showing the downward trend. Then the fourth one is statement showing changes in working capital. So here the component of the current asset and current liability will be considered. This statement is very important to prepare the fund flow statement, because one of the component you need to write in fund flow statement, increase or decrease in working capital. ಈ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುವಂತದ್ದು ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇಂದ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು. ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ liability. If current asset will increases, definitely the working capital will also increases. So like that we will have a relationship, and based on that we will prepare the statement showing changes in working capital. Next ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು fund flow statement. So very important statement here. In the balance sheet and all, we didn't get information about exact sources and application of funds of a business concern for a specific period. Because of that, a fund flow statement is prepared here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅದರ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯೂಸೇಜ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ನಾವು ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡುದು, ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ ರಿಡಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Now, whatever the statement or whatever the analysis we made till now, it will not give you a true picture about cash flow in the organization. So, what kind of cash flow is happening? Inflow and outflow. So, the correct picture we are not getting. So that the cash flow statement is prepared as per accounting standard 3, and we are identifying the 3 important source of cash flow. Cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, and cash flow from financing activities. And we are taking all cash and cash equivalent items. Cash equivalent item ಅಂದ್ರೆ cash at bank ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಈಕ್ವಲೆಂಟ್ಸ್. Next very important tool is ratio analysis. So ratio, you know that a relationship between the two individual items. There are very important ratios are there. Maybe the liquidity ratios, leverage ratios are there, solvency ratios we are saying, or profitability ratios are there, turnover ratios, also called as activity ratios. So ratio definitely useful to all the parties of the business concern, internal as well as the external. So ratio analysis ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ in third module we will be discussing. So all the types of ratios will be calculated, and there is a benchmark ratio also, so that we can compare our actual position. Next, last one is break-even analysis. It is very important costing tool actually. From financial point of view also, it is also very important. Break-even analysis is nothing but actually break-even situation means where an organization is neither making money or nor losing the money, but all the cost actually been recorded here or it's covered here. And then no profit, no loss ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಇವನ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನು. And the three important component will be used here, that is variable cost, fixed cost, and the revenue or sales. So there is one formula for break even quantity is equal to fixed cost divided by selling price minus variable cost. Is also called as a fixed cost divided by contribution, because selling price minus variable cost is contribution. So fixed cost divided by contribution per unit, so that will give you break even quantity. So in this image you will get that break even point here. So this will be the quantity, and this axis is showing the sales or revenue. So this point is showing the break even point. Actually ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. The point before break even point is considered as a loss area, and once you reach the break even point and this area onwards you will get the profit. So where I think the total revenue curve and total cost curve will intersect, so that will be considered as a break even point, because here you will get all your fixed costs, and once you get your fixed cost means once you cover the fixed cost, the break even point once you reach, and the area after break even point is called as profit area. So this is the concept of the break even analysis. Very important financial tool or accounting tool to focus on three areas. So ultimately in this session the types of financial statement analysis we cover, horizontal, vertical, or internal, external, short term and long term, and various tools or techniques we discuss here, starting from comparative, common size, trend, cash flow, fund flow, and statement showing changes in working capital, as well as the break even analysis. So thank you.